Hi, I'm Mary Tillman.
I'm Chad Blank.
And I'm Dan Tillman, and we're Team Tillman with Caldwell Banker.
And this week, with Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman, we are going to talk about 6 most frequently questions that renters ask.
And if we don't answer your particular question, feel free to reach out to us and we'll get right back to you.
I want to buy a house, but what do I do about my lease?
That's a great question, and we get that question a lot from our renters. Here's the deal. We're going to need a good 6 months, so if you're locked into a lease, right about the middle of it is what we're going to need. Some people go, wow, I waited till the last 3 months. Well, we probably can make that work too, but this is what it looks like. It usually takes anywhere from 60 to 90 days to find a house and actually get you under contract. Then after that, it's going to take another 30 to 45 days to close you. So let's just say you close in the month of September. It can be any month. You're closing it sometime in September. You have no payment in October. Your first payment will be November 1st. So if it's May, there's nothing in June. First payment, July 1st. So we have a little wiggle room to work with. If you're locked into a lease and we only have 2 or 3 months, we're going to have to work pretty fast, or maybe talk to your landlord about doing a month-to-month for a month or two as well. So we have a couple options there on what we can do with your lease. Also, I'm a landlord myself and have rental properties, and there are a few things we can work with your landlord, and sometimes they'll let you out of your lease early if we find something early. So I can work with you and give you some conversation to have with your landlord to make that work as well. In either way, I would say probably about 6 months into your lease is when we need to start looking. If you need to clean up your credit a little bit, or perhaps let's get your credit score a little bit higher than it is now, earlier would be even greater, because we can get you connected with a lender so we can get that credit score kind of fixed up. We can get you on a search, and then we can start the process. So anytime really in that 1 year process, give us a call. We'll work with you and we'll get you started on finding your next home.
Is owning a home really better than renting?
That is a wonderful question. And actually, let me start out with this. As a realtor, your expectation would be that I would say everybody should buy a house. And honestly, buying a house is not for everybody. First of all, if you're looking to move in, let's say, less than 3 to 5 years, buying a house is probably not going to be a good idea. The reason why is that there are costs to first buy a house as well as to sell the house. So within the general rule of thumb is 3 to 5 years, you could potentially have to bring money to the table to actually close. So if it's something where maybe you're thinking you're going to be changing jobs or something within a year or two, well, you want that flexibility, renting may be best for you. But for most of you, you know, we're going to be in this area for a long time. So buying a house is actually a great investment. And there's actually research out there that shows homeowners' net worth are significantly higher than those who rent the entire life. And there's multiple reasons for it. When you purchase a house, you're purchasing an asset that over the long term has shown to generally be going up in value. Also, when you pay your mortgage, you're actually paying a little bit off of that loan every month, increasing your equity, increasing your net worth. So you have 2 things going for you. You're lowering your loan balances, and the property value will be increasing. Also, everybody who's rented knows rent does not stay the same for a long period of time. Usually when your lease comes up for renewal, you're waiting for that conversation with that landlord, knowing they're going to increase my rent. When you purchase a house, your mortgage payment, yes, it might increase slightly year over year because of changes in property taxes and insurance, but your actual mortgage payment, the principal and interest, is not going to change. So even though it might go up a little bit, it's going to go up nowhere close to as much as what your rent payment would be going up year over year. And over the long term, you'll see that in general, people's salaries tend to increase significantly more than the rate of which the mortgage is. So you have multiple positives on why you should buy a house.
What are the differences in cost between renting and owning?
Well, as a homeowner, your payment every month stays pretty much consistent unless there's an increase in the property taxes or your homeowner's insurance. Any maintenance that you need to do on the house, or upkeep, or even some renovations are all on your budget, and anything that breaks down, you are very responsible and you have to get them fixed right away. On the flip side of that, as a renter, you have to pay a large deposit to begin with in the event that you don't take care of the property. Number two, if something breaks down, all you have to do is call the landlord, and but usually when they repair or replace an appliance, it's a used appliance to keep the costs down. Also, you don't have to worry about lawn mowing. You don't have to worry about any maintenance on the home at all. The only downside of that is when the lease is up and you have to renew. Chances are, if there's high demand, the increase of the rent is imminent. It's going to happen, and in the event that you don't, you want to leave and vacate the property, you don't have any equity as if you were an owner.
What costs are involved in buying a house?
So there's actually multiple costs associated when you purchase a house. A lot of people think about the mortgage, and that's all part of the closing costs associated with that. On top of that, there's some miscellaneous costs. You have, for example, a home inspection. Home inspection is very important to see any potential issues with the house. And that's going to run you between maybe $250 to potentially $600. It all really depends on the size, the age, the condition of the house. It kind of varies within that. Another thing you need to have is something that's called earnest money. Earnest money is some money that you put up front to pretty much as a goodwill gesture saying, yes, I'm looking to buy the house. So kind of think about it as like when you rent it, you put a deposit down when you rented out the apartment. It's somewhat kind of similar. The only difference is with this earnest money, it gets applied when you close. So for example, if you put down $1,000 for earnest money, that will go towards your closing costs or down payment when you close. So you don't actually lose the money. It doesn't come back to you when you sell your house or anything like that. There are multiple resources. We have multiple resources to help with a lot of these expenses. So for example, Minnesota Housing has wonderful programs to help people who are first-time home buyers be able to get help with the down payment and closing costs. For example, I actually have a renter right now who is buying a condo and we're closing in about a month. Through using these grant programs as a first-time home buyer, he's putting $1,000 down to be able to buy the house, and that's all he's putting down. So he paid the $1,000 for earnest money, as we mentioned. That's going to be applied towards the minimum down payment he has to have. Outside of that, he also had to pay for an inspection. So those are the only those two expenses that he had to pay when purchasing the house.
How much money will I need to buy a house?
Well, it all depends on each individual person. So here's the deal. If most people rent because they can't afford to buy a house, at least they think they can. And there are many down payment assistance programs out there, so we can certainly get you connected to those to see if you qualify for them. There's also a strategy where we can write your closing cost in. Your closing costs are about 3% of your mortgage. We can write those into the mortgage, or even better yet, we can negotiate them and ask the seller to pay for them, and sometimes they certainly will. Team Tillman also gives you $1,000 to put towards your down payment, so we have a little extra money that way if you work with us and our participating lender. We've actually just this last January had a first-time home buyer who bought a very nice house for about $1,000 down, and it went very smoothly. But here again, it depends on your credit score, it depends on your income. So we can help you get connected to all the resources, and we can help you find some of that money so you can have a down payment for your next house.
I'm a renter and my landlord usually covers all of my repairs. Is owning a house a lot of work?
Well, that would all depend on when you purchased the home, what type of an inspection that you came up with as far as condition of a lot of the appliances. And that's probably the biggest headache that homeowners have right out of the gate. Now, there's a couple ways you can work that out by having either a Service Plus warranty on all of your appliances, and that's a flat fee every month, and if something goes wrong, you just make the call, they come out, they repair it. The other one is that maybe when you bought the house, you took out a home warranty. It's about a $550 fee per year. It starts at the date of closing and moves through till the next year, and you pay a flat $100, and that part of it is either repair it, or if they can't repair it, they'll replace it. That's huge, especially if you have a home that has some appliances that, like a furnace or a water heater or a central air conditioner that goes out. It's very, 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 very costly, and if you aren't prepared for that and have some cash packed away, this is one way that this will help that, remedy that. So as a homeowner, there are some maintenance issues that you have to deal with, like mowing the lawn, maybe you'd have to snow blow the driveway and that kind of thing. You can have a couple options. You know, you can save some money and do it yourself, or maybe there's some aspects of it that you know somebody that is looking to build a business and would love to have you as a client, and maybe they'll come and snow blow your driveway or plow your driveway in the wintertime for a minimal amount of money just to get started. Same thing goes for mowing your lawn. If you know, you can save money by doing it yourself, and you can certainly find a lawnmower at most garage sales or moving sales for pretty cheap. That makes it worthwhile for you to do that. So now, if you happen to buy a home that happens to have an HOA, homeowners association, there's a flat fee that you pay, and that takes care of most everything maintenance-wise on the outside of the house, whether it's the roof, whether it's siding, whether it's the deck or that kind of thing. That also takes care of snow removal as well as any lawn maintenance as well. So you don't have to do anything. Just live and enjoy it.
Rolling.
Thanks for watching Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman.
We hope we got all of your questions answered.
And if we didn't answer your question, or would like to set up a meeting with any one of us, as always, it's a no pressure situation. Feel free to reach out to us either through the messenger button below. You can find us on Facebook at Team Tillman MN, or you can go online at teamtillmanmn.com. There you'll be able to find a quick bio of all of us. There's a form there you can fill out to reach out to us, as well as find our emails and phone numbers.
Look for us next week for another Tuesday Tips with Team Tillman.